All righty, folks. I'm sure you have heard the statements about Canada potentially becoming the 51st state. I think lots of us, myself included, thought it was just the ultimate troll of Trudeau. But apparently, there is some investors out there that are making moves that really make this 51st state thing at least a non-zero event, which is, of course, what I thought it would be, a zero event. But Taylor, it sounds like you've had some conversations with folks that it is a non-zero event. So let us know.
Yeah. I heard from a very astute billionaire investor that called this the next Louisiana Purchase. And I don't think that, full disclosure, I don't think that he thinks it's likely, but he said, let's take a look at the cards on the table and try to play this out a couple iterations. And so basically he said, like, look, we're proposing potentially a 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico. Mm-hmm. And he said that largely speaking, this is a illegal immigrant and drug flow issue. And he said, listen, like, I understand at the southern border, that is a real issue. He said, at the northern border, these are his terms, that's a non-event. And we've discussed this a couple times about the actual interactions of drug and immigrants and the percentages that come on each border. And it's so disproportionately on the southern border. And he said, then you have to start to understand what Canada's overall economy looks like. He said they're incredibly, incredibly hard material oriented, whether it be lumber, whether it be mining, whether it be oil. And he said, listen, they're an export oriented country and their intention is to continue to export to the United States. So he said, if you take a step back and you go, all right, if we don't really have a real issue with Canada, what is this punishment actually there for? And in his interpretation, this is a reality in potential to say, this is a punishment to nuke their economy. And that will be just recessionary in its own rights, and then make a potential purchase of Canada by the United States a reality. And it sounds far-fetched, but when you follow the logic of like, what are we really, really doing there? What's our real issue with them? It's hard to make a case that this isn't a bombastic, ridiculous thought.
Well, I'm probably like most people. I thought it was just the ultimate troll in trying to, needle Justin Trudeau. I'm still in that camp, but if you want to just play devil's advocate, this is just like any other business decision, right? Instead of being two countries, Canada and the United States, these could be two businesses. What would one CEO of a business want to do to their competitor is find a way to punish them, send them, hurt their earnings, hurt their revenue, so that maybe they can go buy them for pennies on the dollar. Right. This is
if you're going to merge and you can cause that entity that you're going to merge with to be significantly less valuable. That seems like a play that is a logic. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do by any means, but and here's the other thing. Two other things. Trudeau got caught on a hot mic saying it's reality when he didn't know that mic was hot.
I did not see that. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. So the second thing also is Trump. Now, this could be Trump being a bully and Trump being Trump. But he called him Governor Trudeau, which alludes to the fact that you run a state, not a prime minister of a country.
Yeah, he's a legendary troll. I would not want to be put in the lens of that guy, Governor Trudeau. Yeah, it's as some, I just can't fathom it. But you're right. This would be on the level of the Louisiana Purchase.
Right.
Both from land and from resources. I have been to Canada a dozen times, maybe 10 times, 10 to 12 times. They are a sovereign nation. It's hard. It's just hard for me to fathom, right? I don't see us having any real beef with Canada. Right. To your earlier point about.
That's the point though, right? That's the point of like, if we don't have any beef, like what is it, our actual intention? And for the record, this investor that I'm talking about is a Toronto born and raised person.
Oh, wow. That's even more data. So this is an opinion of a billionaire in Canada.
To be clear, not in Canada, but he's Canadian.
Right. There. That's what I meant. With Canadian roots, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
Say. That's even more interesting because again, you got to imagine this person still has lots of contacts there, probably at high levels if he's a billionaire. And it would be, there must be a survey out there. I haven't seen it, but maybe somebody in the audience can find it. I wonder if they've done a survey of Canadian citizens and they just asked them, would you want to do it?
I have heard rhetoric, and this is coming from the same gentleman, but I actually heard it somewhere else. I listened to another podcast called missing the name. I might think of it. But this guy that runs the podcast is also from Toronto as well. And he said Canadians are frightened right now, like legitimately frightened as to what this would do to their economy.
So let's play that out. Again, as an exporter nation of hard goods, commodities, it's funny. I reported this morning, we may talk about this in another video, the tariffs on aluminum and steel. Canada is the largest exporter by a significant margin.
Thoughtful money. Adam Taggart is from Toronto.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. I didn't know that. That's good to know. But yeah, if you're talking about putting a 25% tariff on steel and aluminum, and Canada's the largest exporter, bears mind that they will be hurt the most.
Right.
It's easy to tick and tie. And then you have something coming on lumber and, a Canadian oil and all of these other things. You could see their economy. You could see a recession in Canada in 2025.
Oh, no doubt about it. I think that if the tariffs actually go on, it's hard not to see a recession in Canada in 2025. And to your point, like, you're the real estate guy. This is all an impact on what's going into real estate. And this is a hard time for our country to start to take it on the chin from a real estate perspective with what just happened in LA, with what just happened in Florida with the hurricanes, in North Carolina, all over the place. We've had a lot of natural disasters, and there's a lot of new construction that's needed, not to improve, just to rebuild.
To replace, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting, folks. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think Canada will become the 51st state? Yes or no? Let us know in the comments. And then maybe if you really want to play along, give me your odds. What are the odds?
That's it. Because everyone's going to say no, but they're saying if it's a 25% chance, that's not 10. If it's a 50, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'll put you on the spot. What do you think the odds are that Canada becomes the 51st state? We'll go to you first.
Low, 10 to 15. I mean, the reality is that would be an earth-shattering move. I'll put it at 10 because I think it's an earth-shattering move.
That's funny. Before this conversation, I would have said 0 because I thought it was a troll move. But I'll take my 0 up to 5%. So even that's 1 in 20.
Right. Non-zero event.
Non-zero event. Yeah, it's wild to think about this. So again, let's just play it on the. Would this be good for the U.S.? Absolutely. Right. More raw materials, more goods. A lot of probably untapped areas. So it's.
So long as we get along, right? And we get along with them now. But if you force someone to become part of your nation, that doesn't mean you're going to get along.
No, yeah. 5%. All right, folks. So let us know in the comments below. What is your percent chance that Canada becomes the 51st state? You're awesome, Taylor. Take care.
Thanks, Michael.